All right, we're going to get started. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call.
Mayor Delacola. Director Blah Pignatello. Here. Director of Finance Herwick.
Here.
Councilman at Large Elliott.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Kelly.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Stager.
Here.
Ward 1 Councilman Biassiata.
Here.
Ward 2 Councilman Martin.
Here.
Ward 3 Councilman Snitsky. Here. Ward 4 Councilman Greenwald.
Here.
Director of Public Service and Properties Johnson.
Here.
Building Commissioner Hoop.
Here.
Engineer Collins.
Here.
We'll now have the reading and disposal of the journal.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
having read the council minutes of council meeting September 10th, 2019, I find no errors or omissions. Therefore, I move they be approved as printed.
Second.
Roll call.
Kelly.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. The minutes of September 10th have been approved. Moving on to consent agenda of October 29th.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
if there's no division of the question, I move that we accept the consent agenda for October 29th of 2019.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Kelly.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, consent agenda of October 29th has been approved. We don't have any resolutions of commendation this evening, so we'll move on to reports of committee. Planning, zoning, economic development.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
previous planning, zoning, and economic development meeting are on file with the clerk. The next meeting is November 19th.
Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. President. The most recent meeting of the Public Works Committee was on October 1st. The minutes of that meeting are pending. The next meeting will be held on November 6th.
Community Services.
Mr. President, the last meeting was on October 1st. The next meeting is on November 6th, and the minutes are on file with the clerk.
Police and Safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. Previous meeting minutes are pending, and the next meeting for Police and Safety is going to be the 19th of November.
Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Mr. President. The minutes of the October 22nd meeting have been forwarded to the clerk, and the next meeting is November 19th.
Rules, Ordinance, and Ethics.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our last meeting was on October 8th. The minutes are on file with the clerk, and our next meeting will be November 6th.
Finance, Civil Service, and Personnel. Our last meeting was October 22nd. Those meeting minutes are on file with the clerk, and our next will be November 6th. We have no appointments or confirmations this evening. Do we have any communications? There are no communications this evening. Council is now open to the audience on legislation only. First row, second row. Mr. Breida.
Jeff Breida, 2341 Parmalee Drive. As a member of the Planning Commission, I just want to say I'm excited to see Ordinance 136, 2019, the development agreement moving forward through the process here, and just excited to get working on it soon.
Thank you, Mr. Breida. Anyone else this evening? Okay. Moving on to ordinances. Bringing you right in the agenda. I did speak in caucus earlier about the potential to amending the agenda this evening for an additional ordinance, but I've given second thought to that. So we're just getting into our regularly scheduled agenda. Ordinance 135 will now have the second reading.
Ordinance number 135, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacola and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract renewal with Assure Software for the administration of the City of Seven Hills Cobra Software Services, and authorizing an amount not to exceed $620 for a one-year period for said service.
We'll now have the second reading of ordinance 136, 2019.
Ordinance number 136, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a development agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio with RFS Seven Hills LLC, an Ohio limited liability company, duly organized and existing under the laws of the state of Ohio for the development of certain property located in the Rockside Road South Planned Unit Development District.
We'll now have, move on to ordinance 137, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 137, 2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second. Any emergency?
First and final.
Okay, roll call.
Kelly?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance 137, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a 3-year agreement with 2 additional 1-year options with UniFirst for standard uniform and service product rental to be used by the city of Seven Hills, appropriating an amount not to exceed $7,733.44 each year of the contract, totaling $23,232.32 for 3 years, and declaring an emergency.
Further motion?
Mr. President, I want to say that the reason for the emergency is we're changing from Cintas to UniFirst, and we want the contract to be in effect starting January 1st. Having said that, I move that we pass ordinance 137-2019.
I'll second. Roll call.
Kelly?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, ordinance 137 is passed. We'll now have the first reading of ordinance 138, 2019.
Ordinance 138, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a facility partnership agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio with PeerFit for the purpose of providing services to support the PeerFit and PeerFit Move Partner fitness programs.
Moving on to ordinance 139, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman Elliott.
make a motion to amend ordinance 139, 2019 with the updated contract.
I will second. Councilman Elliott.
Yes, Mr. President.
I'd just like to add the comments that the amendments are filling in the blank and a little bit of legalese. It isn't changing the form that was distributed to the city. Most importantly, the changes filling in the blank where Genesis Building is inspected to invest $750,000. In addition, the other material change was changing where it references the company has been replaced with Konica Minolta. Thank you, Councilman
Yes, sir.
Elliott. Roll call?
Kelly?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 139, 2019 has been amended. Do we have a further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance 139, 2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
I'll second. Any comments? I'd just like to commend Councilman Elliott for the great work here. Economic development is critical to any city. It's a highly competitive hills. We're increasing revenue without increasing taxes. I can't think of a more important job of a councilman. Any other comments?
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all of council, especially Councilwoman Kelly, Councilwoman Stager, for having the vision to do the cleanup on Lombardo. Over a year ago this started, and without their vision of cleaning up the area, this company never would have came to Seven Hills. So thank you to the entire council for that.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further comments? Roll call.
Kelly.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, ordinance 139-20,
Read it. Ordinance number 139, 2019, amended ordinance, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an economic development agreement with Genesis Building LTD, an Ohio limited liability company, and declaring an emergency.
further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman?
I move that we pass amended ordinance 139, 2019.
I second. Any comments? Roll call.
Kelly,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, ordinance 139, 2019 has been approved. Hip, hip.
Hooray.
Moving on to resolution 25, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read resolution number 25-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
I second.
Roll call.
Kelly.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Resolution number 25, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. A resolution supporting the Ohio Municipal League position on House Bill 49 and House Bill 5, centralized tax locate collection, and asking the OML to include the city of Seven Hills as a municipality, supporting the OML amicus brief before the Ohio Supreme Court.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I move that we adopt resolution number 25-2019.
I second.
Roll call.
Kelly.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Resolution 25, 2019 has been adopted. Council's now open to the audience for miscellaneous comments.
No.
Carol Zupancic, 2725 Chestnut Road. Just for the record, can you tell viewers what's happening next Tuesday because of Election Day and the conflict with Council Caucus? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Zupancic's looking for an update. Typically, council meets on Tuesday. Due to the election of November 5th, this coming Tuesday, our next committee caucus will be November 6th on Wednesday, starting at 6. So 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 6th will be the next committee caucus meeting. Thank you, Carol. Anyone else in the audience wish to address miscellaneous topics this evening? Great. We're going to move on to reports from the directors. Director of Finance.
No report this evening, thank you.
Director of Law. Director of Public Service.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things to bring to council's attention. I just wanted to update you that we are continuing with our preventive maintenance program on all of our sanitary and storm sewers, and I have a whole list of streets that we've completed so far. I have a statement that I would ask the clerk to put into the record. I won't bore you with all of the details, but I did want to inform you that we are continuing to do that. And finally, we officially will start leaf pickup November 1st. We are starting to prowl around some of the streets now. I see piles starting to accumulate in some areas, and we are starting to get a few phone calls. So we will be going around picking up those piles, but officially November 1st, we're going to start with leaf pickup. Our schedule, usually we start at the south side of the city and work north. We're going to try to do a better job this year of letting you know exactly where we are. So we continue to try to improve that every year. But just so you know, we're officially going to start November 1st. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
City Engineer?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to give you and council and the audience members an update on the John Glenn Drive Sewer Rehabilitation Project. And just a couple of cliff notes, bullet points to get where we're at right now. You know, we've had excessive rainfall events over the years, and some flooding happened on John Glenn Drive. The city hired consultants to test the area to find out where our sources of excessive water were coming from, you know, causing flooding in some basements. We had letters sent out to residents after it was detected back in June that a lot of I&I was occurring, meaning that a lot of stormwater was being implemented into the sanitary sewer laterals and was causing backups with the sewers being overcapacitated. We've had great success with most of the residents complying, pulling permits and getting it tested, and we haven't had, you know, as many phone calls this past year when we had our flooding events since that's happened. So that was the private side. Now the public side is now our due diligence, our duty to fix, and that ticket item being a little over $140,000. We didn't want to jump on it right away because there were some grant opportunities that we tried to apply for, and unfortunately it was determined in September that project, the John Glenn Drive Sewer Rehabilitation Project, did not score high enough to receive the grant that we applied for. So we immediately, you know, took action, and we have it it's being bid out right now, and the actual bid opening is going to be on Friday, November 8th. Okay, and our engineer's estimate for the project, like I stated earlier, is $143,100. So once we get all the bids in, review them, evaluate them, myself along with the service director will be giving a recommendation for the mayor, for council, for awarding of the lowest and best bid, in hopes to get a lot of the project done this year yet. Depending on weather, it may have to be pushed till spring. Just again, that's the update on the John Glenn Drive Sewer Rehabilitation Project. Hemlock Creek watershed utility improvements are wrapping up. Waiting on the gas company to install the gas main on North Mary Lane to from Seven Hills Boulevard to the pump station. I'm meeting Thursday with one of Dominion's technicians to go over the project. They finally submitted a permit to me last week, which I approved, and we're moving forward on that. Punch list items are ongoing with the contractor. Next is the 2019 road program. Ongoing, the contractors is really picked it up over the last week and a half, and we should be doing punch list items on all the concrete and asphalt streets here relatively soon. And that pretty much summarizes it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dan. Building Commissioner?
No comment.
Council Miscellaneous, Councilman Martin?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilman Snitsky?
Yes, I think there's something that needs to be said here. We've been really good here at working together as this group, and we have this election coming up in 2 weeks. I think it needs to be said, I'm sorry, in a week. I think it needs to be said so that people understand just how effective this group has been here. I've been involved in the city for 50 years, and I have never, ever, and I've been involved in the city administration for over 10 years. I have never, ever seen a council with so many diverse personalities that act so mature towards each other in such a collegial atmosphere to accomplish what we have accomplished. I think it's very important that the residents, when they vote, take a good hard look at what we have accomplished. And the members of this council that are running for reelection more than deserve your support. They have done some amazing things. We as a group have done some amazing things. I have to pinch myself when I think how many large economic development projects we have going on in this city at one time. I've never seen this. And it's all because of these people up here. And they need your support. They should be elected again. Thank you very much.
Councilman Greenwald?
Nothing this evening.
Councilwoman Stager?
I just want to say that I'm disappointed that ordinance number 140-2019 wasn't on the agenda.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Councilman Elliott?
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you.
Councilwoman Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to give a shout out to Council at Large Patrick Elliott for being aggressive and securing the deal and bringing Conica Minolta here to our city. It is greatly appreciated, and thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.
Well, I'll wrap things up tonight. Yesterday was First Responders Day, so I want to thank all our first responders for their great job here in Seven Hills and everywhere. I'm glad Congress, in its wisdom, decided to set aside October 28th to honor these brave men and women. I'll briefly address Councilman Stager's. Yeah, I think Ordinance 140 is a great idea. In hindsight, I just decided that I'll bring it to a general caucus, probably Finance Committee, the following week. So it could be on the agenda in full transparency. So that's, I'm not backing off. I'm just slowing down 1 week because it is very important that we look at things professionally from an outside pair of eyes. Not too different than hiring the state to do an internal audit. The professionals need to tell us where we stand on certain actions, and certainly a nominal price. So I'll bring that up in the appropriate committee in 8 days from today. Director Johnson, I just, maybe I missed it. Did you give some specifics on our sewer maintenance? I know we did back in August. I just want to make sure that it's clear to the residents that this important tax happens almost daily. And if you can provide some magnitude to that, that would also be good.
I'd be happy to, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know how much I should read. I didn't know if everybody was ready to go home. But just for in the last several months, we've cleaned and jetted all of the sewers on McCreary Road. We built 4 catch basins there. We've jetted both the sanitary and storms on the following streets: Cricket from Jasmine Drive to the dead end, Donna Ray from Chestnut to Ala, East Ridgewood from the city line to near Broadview Road to Crossview Road, all of Chestnut Road, Gale Drive, Magnolia Drive, Range View, Cricket from Jasmine Drive to the dead end, Elmhurst, Falling Leaf, Harvest Lane, Crest Hill, Jasmine, Hickory, Lotus, and East Hill, just to name a few. In addition, if you'll recall, at the beginning of this year, council approved the contract and we rebuilt 30 catch basins. That's in addition to the 4 catch basins that the county rebuilt for us. And our crews continue to clean all of the ditches. We cleaned the retention basin at the corner of Daniel and Sprague. We've cleaned the ditch lines and the debris racks behind City Hall and along the hiking paths. We've cleaned the trash rack in the vault at Valleywood, and recently replaced 200 linear feet of 25-inch storm pipe in the rear yards that go from Chestnut Road to Crossview Road. We've jetted the sanitary mains on Laura Lee and Meadview, And we continue to implement our preventive maintenance policy and to make repairs. Most of what we do is preventive maintenance as opposed to making repairs. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that time.
Thank you, Director Johnson, for clarifying. That was an awful long list of streets that have been cleaned, and we've done more in the past because we contracted out earlier in the year. I'd like to add that the 2019 budget was over $500,000 for our sanitary and storm sewers combined, and the predominance of that $530,000 budgeted always goes to preventative. Some of it only comes into play when there's an emergency. Our crews respond to emergencies on an as-needed basis, but when they're not addressing emergency situation, they are performing preventative actions. I want to, one last thank you, and then I'll let everyone get on their way. It is true, it's campaign season. Well, I've never campaigned from the dais, so I won't start now. But it does provide a unique opportunity for those running for office to get out there and talk to residents more often than they would normally. We've had 2 ward meetings with this council. I've performed a non-political meet and greet, answered questions from over 70 residents. So that's 3 touches just this year. I'm sorry, within a year frame-ish. That we had an opportunity to get feedback. But the campaign season, out there going door to door, hearing the concerns firsthand from residents that don't normally attend meetings or that are not vocal or have better things to do than play on social media is always beneficial. But one of the things that's really standing out, and I want to commend those responsible, and that's our service department. I've really noticed a significant improvement over the last year and a half. I had a number of instances where I've knocked on a door and a resident brought a problem to me. Last week, one on Dawnwood, another one on Meadowland. Often within a day, but definitely within a week, when the problem was clearly of the public domain. I mean, sometimes people bring you problems that are private, and you got to be honest with them that this is on private property and there's a limit of what we can help. But 2 matters involving street repairs, streets that weren't being resurfaced. There was chuck holes and dips. Another one where we had a fallen tree that was blocking the path. So I guess that's 3 in the last week. We're taken care of immediately and professionally by our service department. And I want to thank them. And that's been going on not just the last couple months, but for the last year and a half. I've noticed a significant improvement in the response time. And certainly our guys at the service squad have been very courteous when performing these needed repairs. So if you could pass that on to your team, Director Johnson, I've been real pleased with them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to hear your comments.
Yeah, make sure that feedback gets there, because I want to give credit where credit's due. It's not the council people fixing dips in the road. It's the service crew. So I merely bring it to their attention. So the credit is all theirs. With that, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this evening at 8:05. Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Kelly?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.
Okay. I'll take it.